Hello friends, Veronica Moonlove here with your week 1 of Sagittarius season. I cannot believe we are in Sagittarius season, y'all. It is about to be the end of the year. That blows my mind. I cannot believe that, but we made it. We are here. We had a partial lunar eclipse last week that was rough, to say the least. I don't know about y'all, but I felt really exhausted, really tired. I had planned on getting this video out to you yesterday, but I just had the most exhausting, energetic weekend ever, and I just needed to rest. I just needed to sleep. And so I'm getting this out to you today, which isn't, we're not too far behind, so that's good, but I am dressed as if I'm going to Paris because I felt the traveler spirit, the seeker energy, the explorer energy of Sagittarius. So let's go ahead and get started and talk about what we're going to do this week. Okay, so as you know, Sagittarius is the seeker, the philosopher, the forever student. They are always learning and exploring. For Sagittarius, it's all about the experience. So if you are a Sagittarius, you might feel almost like a restlessness, a constant restlessness, because it's almost like this insatiable need to explore, to learn, to experience life in all of its forms, whether it's learning about a different culture, trying a new food, seeing things from a different perspective, whatever that may be. It's very much of an expansion sort of energy. Now, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, and rightfully so, because Jupiter is very jovial. I almost see him as the Santa Claus of the planets, because not only is he the largest sort of round planet, but also because of its need to expand. And it's all about abundance, right? Sagittarians are fairly optimistic people. They always see the bright side of things. They typically always have good luck. Things always work out for them. And they are very extroverted, very wanting to meet new people, wanting to see new people, wanting to have new experiences. They're just kind of everywhere. They're this adventurer sort of essence of an energy. And I definitely felt a shift from Scorpio, who is sort of investigative and highly intuitive and very much of a water sign, to the very extroverted, optimistic, fiery Sagittarius. So I definitely felt that shift, especially after this partial lunar eclipse. So I thought, because Sagittarians, if you've ever met them, some of the, I guess, stereotypes for Sagittarians is that they can be kind of messy, or they kind of are just everywhere, I guess you can say. And it's because of their spontaneity. Like, they're very spontaneous people. They're just like, they are literally those people that you call up and you're like, hey, I want to go to Paris today. And they're like, okay, I'm totally there. They are those people. And as someone with a Sagittarius stellium in their chart, meaning I have a lot of Sagittarius placements in my chart, even though I'm a Capricorn sun, I very much relate to Sagittarius energy in a lot of ways. So I thought what would be really fun for this month is to be highly intuitive, highly spontaneous. And what I'm thinking that we can do is that we'll work with the tarot, because we've never worked with the tarot during these rituals or spells. So I was thinking we pull a card together, we see what we get for the week, and then we just spontaneously create a ritual based off of that. So I'm thinking just have basic tools on you. Like, I have some candles, crystals, like I have basic things that we can just simply just create something. And the whole idea is for it to be messy. Sagittarians are like very playful people. Sometimes it's really hard to take them seriously, but what can we learn from that, right? As someone who is a Capricorn and probably takes life way too seriously sometimes, I can learn from the Sagittarius spirit that sometimes life is just about fun, and life should be held with the biggest optimism and explorative eyes, like constant curiosity, because that's how we learn and that's how we grow and that's how we evolve. So let's have fun this month, because we had such a shadowy month last month for Scorpio season. Totally awesome, and it felt like I personally got a lot of things shed, and a lot of things died away, and so now I'm just ready to play, right? Like we're in the darkest time of the year. We're quickly approaching Yule, which is all about celebration. So let's just have fun, right? Let's just let loose. So I'm gonna go get my tarot deck and let's go ahead and pull a card. Okay, so I decided to go with the Modern Witch Tarot deck. I love this deck. And the reason why I chose it is because it does have a more modern spin on it. There are electronics in the cards. There are just women being like complete badass, traveling, doing things solo. But also, I think this deck has a very youthfulness about it that reminds me of Sagittarius energy, because Sagittarians have such a youthful energy about them. And I think that this would be perfect. Once again, we are playing, right? We're having fun. So let me go ahead and get this out. And so really what I want this reading to be about is, like, what do we need to know this week after this post-lunar eclipse, after such an intense amount of energy. I know I definitely was exhausted this week, and I'm sure everyone else who's highly intuitive and is in tune to those energies definitely felt it. So yeah, so what is it that we need to know this week for this spell and ritual of week 1 in Sagittarius? What is it that we need to know? And then, like I said, we will together spontaneously create a ritual based off of the card that we get. And yeah, just having fun here, just being spontaneous. And so let's go ahead and get this out. And while I am separating it, just to kill some time, I guess, I wanted to let you know that I did get to see the partial lunar eclipse. It was 3 a.m. here in Texas. I made my husband get up just so we could see it for like 10 minutes maybe. We weren't up that long, but I didn't want to miss it because I think they said it was going to be about 600 years until the next one happens, so I definitely didn't want to miss out on all that fun. So once again, what is it that we need to know for the spell and ritual? All right, so we got the 9 of Wands. So I'm thinking with the 9 of Wands, I feel like this is like exhaustion. That's kind of how I feel about it. I think it's well, first and foremost, we can see that the wands behind her look as though she's kind of moved past that, right? Just like this partial lunar eclipse was just kind of killing things, transformation, transmutation of these energies, things that are dying away, depending what house it was in for you. We had this partial lunar eclipse in Taurus, so look for Taurus in your chart. It was in my second house, which is house of finances, money, our value system, worth. And so for me, I felt like it had to do with a lot of self-worth issues. So there was like a lot of like insecurities that were dying off. And so that's going to look different for everybody. So look for Taurus in your chart, but this is what all of those things were dying off were. And And what I find so interesting about that is, for some reason, I associate like Scorpio with the number 8. I guess it's just one of those weird things. And so it's weird that it's like there's 8 in the back, even though it's not. It's like it's in October, which is like the 10th month, going into November, which is the 11th month. But I do associate it with the number 8 for some reason, and I feel like it's because it's sort of like this very cyclical sign where it's like there's always like the beginning is always the end, because it's like the sign is always transforming and shedding skin, and I don't know. And so I think that that's maybe why. Maybe it's also because I feel like spiders are also sort of a symbol of kind of like, you know, breaking down and building new with their webs. Like they're always just taking things down and then like rebuilding it. And so I definitely feel like this is what that has to do with. And I feel like she looks very protective, but she's also just like exhausted, tired. She even looks a little irritated. I definitely felt that irritatedness after such a harsh transformation. And so I'm thinking that this is representing just tired and exhausted. So with that said, now that we're like on the first week, and it makes total sense because we just came out of a huge transformation. We just came out of shadow work, y'all. We were all up in our psyche. And so I think that this is just us sort of being like, we made it, but I am tired. And so I think it would be really cool if we did a spell around, like, we're going to get a little bit crafty, okay? Because this is actually something that I recently learned in another sort of like magic circle or moon circle. But there's this thing called iambic pentameter. And it's basically just a fancy schmancy way of saying like a rhyme sequence. So like if you've ever done poetry before, there's always sort of like a rhyme sequence with it, or not necessarily always rhyming with poetry, but there's always just kind of like a prose involved. And so it's very similar to that, except there's also rhyming involved. And there's a lot of things that are doing this right now in like the music industry. If you've ever heard of Michael Seven, he is the artist that's like, everything that I have, or everything that I need, I already have, that song, which I'm a huge fan of. But it's basically a way to verbalize spell work. And you can do so by getting a little crafty. And so I'm thinking, so I have these little strings. I don't know if you can see it with the lighting. Basically, this is just a bag of like strings. If you've ever seen like those friendship bracelets before, this would be like the perfect kind of string. You can literally use anything. You can use twine, you can use rope, like whatever you want to tie, like use for this craft. Grab something with a string, because that's what we're doing. We're having fun, okay? We're having fun and we're getting crafty because we're being playful and intuitive, dang it. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this, and I'm thinking, because we have so many colors that we're working with, I'm gonna find some that represent calmness, rest, right? Because we're tired, we're exhausted. So I'm thinking maybe like, okay, so like this blue would be good. Got a blue here. I also feel like, I mean, personally, I don't think a lot of people feel like this, but I also like purple. I feel like purple is like spirituality and intuitiveness. And I guess like this sort of bluish, it kind of looks gray kind of color would also be good. So I'm going to go with those. Now I'm doing like a basic sort of braided thing. You can do whatever you want. If you are fancy and know all these cool braiding techniques, go for it. I'm just going to do a regular braid, just like this. Oh my gosh, totally intuitive. I guess I'm in the braiding mode today, because that's like that. I totally pulled that from my mind and I did not even realize I have a braid on. Meant to be, y'all. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot for all the strings, and so that it is at the end, just like you would do for a friendship bracelet. So got that. So now I have like a little knot, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to secure it so that I can start braiding. Obviously you can put something heavy on it or tie it to something, like whatever works for you. I guess I will probably put something heavy on it. That'll probably work better. So I'm going to find something that I can lay on top of it. I'm going to use my tarot cards because they're pretty heavy. Okay, so got that. And then next what we're going to do is we're going to create our iambic pentameter. Wow, that was really hard for me to say. So this is basically our rhyme sequence, okay? I'm not going to go too fancy with this just for the sake of time. I don't want to make you wait, but I want you to be as creative as possible. And I also want you to make your own thing up. So I'm walking you through this, but I really want you to kind of play with me. So I'm not going to really be telling you what to do. I want you to kind of make it up on your own. So I think what I'm going to do, just for the sake of time and making it easy, is I'm going to go 1, 1, 2, 2, meaning 1, 3, 2, 4 is what I meant. So the first sentence is going to rhyme with the third sentence, and the second sentence is going to rhyme with the fourth sentence. So if that works for you, go with that. And then I'm going to just do something around the subject. So we're trying to make it about rest, relaxation, rejuvenation. So I would try to do something that is bringing in that energy. You can also do release. Like if you're still kind of feeling like, man, I just need to get this off still, like these things are still dying away, like whatever works for you. I'm just going based off our 9 of Wands that we got, which is just like exhaustion. So as long as it's around that subject, I think we should be good to go. So how can you how can you manifest to, fill back your cup, fill up your cup, whether that is, I need to take some more things off my chest, or I just need rest. So I'm taking the perspective of needing rest because, like I said, I'm still kind of recovering. I'm still a little exhausted. So I'm going to go off of that. All right. So the first sentence I'm going to do. So I'm going to try to manifest being rested, because I feel like no matter how much sleep I get, I'm still tired. So I'm going to put, I am rested and cleared. So like to say that I'm cleared from like negative energies. Okay. And then let's see. I said I was going to do 1, 3, 2. Okay, so then, actually, I'm going to change mine up. I'm going to do 1, 1, or 1, 1, 2, 2. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to rhyme the first and the second, and then the third and the fourth, because I want to rhyme right now. Okay, so I am rested and cleared to face all of my fears. So cliche, but I don't care. I am stronger and bright. And the reason why I'm doing that is we're entering the darker season, the darker time of the year, and so it's really important for us to be the bright light. Okay, so I am stronger and bright to remove darkness, we just talked about that, from my light. And just for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and end it. I'm going to say, so mote it be. So that's just kind of my thing. So mote it be is sort of like my declaration for everything. So I've got, I am rested and cleared to face all of my fears. I am stronger and bright to remove darkness from my light. Okay, so now that I have my little rhyming sequence, now I'm taking my 3 guys and I'm going to start braiding it. And I'm sure everybody knows how to braid. There's no sort of sequence that I need to go there, so I'm just going to go left over the middle, right over the middle, and so I'm actually braiding right now. So while I'm doing this, and while you're doing this, you don't have to do this with me. Like, you can totally just watch this video and then do it later so you have more concentration. If you want to light a candle, if you want to light an incense, if you want some anointing oil to put on yourself so that you can kind of get into the mode, you can also turn on some meditation music. You know, any kind of hertz is really great to get into that very theta-like vibration. But as you are braiding, you're going to say your iambic pentameter saying. So it will look something like this. I am rested and cleared to face all of my fears. I am stronger and bright to remove darkness from light. So mote it be. And then after I say my first time, I go through the sequence the first time, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my little guy and I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot, because the knot is going to represent every time that I say this sequence. Okay? So I've got my first little knot in there, and there's my braid. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. I'm going to say, and get it right underneath my cards again. All right, so as I'm braiding, I'm going to go through the sequence again. I am rested and cleared to face all of my fears. I am stronger and bright to remove darkness from my light. So mote it be. All right, so I have another time in there, so I'm going to go ahead and take it once more. I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot in it to represent that I have said it a second time. Boom, boom, boom. And voila. So now I have 2 knots in there. And so basically I'm going to go all the way down. I'm not going to make you stay on this video. It's pretty repetitive. So you're saying it over and over and over again. And this is very similar to spell work. And I'll be honest with you, when I'm really, really heavy in spell work, I will say my spell multiple times. And it kind of depends on like what I'm doing. But if like I am trying to really get my energy into something, like it's a very, very, very serious ritual spell, I will keep saying my spell. And I'll even whisper it. I'll be like, you know, like in this case, I'd be like, I am rested and cleared to free all of my fears. I am stronger and bright to remove darkness from my light. So mote it be. And you don't even have to say so mote it be until you're actually done. So, you know, however works for you, I want you to, you know, do what works for you. But essentially, it's a lot of repeating. And words have power. We've talked about this before. Words have a lot of power. So if we say something over and over and over again, then we're basically just manipulating that energy to create that outcome. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish this out after this video, because I do actually really need this. I'm going to go ahead and continue it until the very end. And then when I'm done, what I'm going to do, and these are your options, you can either make a bracelet and wear it as needed until you're done. You can hang it in your car as like a little keychain. You can put it underneath your pillow where you sleep so that you're still getting that energy. Like whatever works for you, you can have this with you. But this is meant to help you feel rested, help you get away from feeling so exhausted. So with that said, that's our first fun, playful, intuitive spell ritual for this week with the tarot deck. So we got some tarot involved. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Please like, comment, share, you know, the whole shipping. That always helps a lot. You can follow me on Instagram at Veronica_Moonlove and TikTok Veronica__Moonlove. And yeah, so we'll be back for week 2 with Sagittarius season. Now I am going to put a disclaimer out there. Okay, I'm letting you know ahead of time. Thanksgiving is this week. Okay, my parents are coming to town and staying with me for like 5 days. So you think I am exhausted now? I will probably be really exhausted then. And so I'm gonna do my best to get out that second week video for you. It just might be later next week. So I'm just letting you know, I'm giving you a heads up. And so, yeah, because I love family, but boy, are they also very exhausting. So anywho, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a happy time with family, well spent. A lot of gratitude, a lot of, a lot of gratitude and a lot of thankfulness that I feel right now for getting to even just sit here and be with you and do this. I know I, only have so many followers on here, and a lot of times it feels like I'm talking to a wall, but for the people who do watch these videos and all the way through, I really appreciate you, and I really thank you for your time. And yeah, I love doing this. So I hope you all have a great holiday, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.